TCI Sports presents high school baseball. Today, the Troy Colts take on the Troy Athens Redhawks. Hello again, everyone. Dave Zorin along with Joe Abramson here at Troy Athens High School, and welcome to the 1996 baseball season. And Joe, we have two teams with similar records. The Troy Colts come in at 5-9, and the Troy Athens Redhawks at 4-9. And it's always a great battle between these two Troy teams.
That's what they always say in every sport about the city rivalry. You throw the records out, and you know they're both going to give it a great effort against each other. And Troy Athens comes in with the senior left-hander Daryl Schiller, a little more experience. Junior right-hander, on the other hand, Aaron Miles for the Colts. Colts are a very young team, only have 4 seniors on the roster. A lot of sophomores. Been struggling a little bit, getting guys on base, not getting them in, though. And, Miles is like 1-2. He has an ERA around 3, though. He just isn't getting a lot of support. It's been that kind of year for him, but again, you throw out the records, both teams have a shot at it. A lot of wind today. You never know, some balls might get flying out of here if you can get it to right field.
Yeah, and the big story today will be the wind. A very strong wind. The field is a little bit wet. We have a big spot in center field that is still have some puddles out there, actually.
Well, it's been raining the last 3 or 4 days consistently, and yeah, as you said, with the wind and the water, you got a soft field. Balls hit on the infield are going to slow down. Might be able to get some infield hits out of it. It's going to be hard to get it out of the infield. And again, with the wind and the puddles in the outfield, you never know what that might do to some of the outfielders.
Okay, there you have it, and we'll have the kickoff of the 1996 baseball season right after these messages. Stay with us.
I wrote a letter to TCI because of the kind service and the kindness that was given to me when we needed service. I'm a district manager for Family Dollar stores here in Detroit and Pontiac. And being a district manager over 16 stores, it's important for us to maintain good customer service day in and day out. If you don't give good service to customers, you don't maintain good service, you don't maintain a good company. And TCI, in my book, has certainly represented customer service to the nth degree.
On the Master Anglers, we bring you the hottest fishing action around the state of Michigan. From tips and techniques to advice and stories from the pros, the Master Anglers gives you the info you need to catch the big ones. Plus, it's just plain fun. That's the Master Anglers, Thursday nights at 8 on TCI Channel 63.
And welcome back to Troy Athens High School, the kickoff of the 96 baseball season. Dave Zorin along with Joe Abramson here, and the first pitch from Troy Athens, the Redhawks, and their pitcher, Daryl Schiller. We saw Daryl in football, Joe.
Yep.
Familiar name.
Yeah, left-hander. Coaches say he's more of a finesse pitcher. They compare him a little bit to Frank Tanana later in his career.
There's a strike, evens the count at 1-1. Schiller coming into the game at 2-5 for the Redhawks. Aaron Miles will be pitching for the Colts. He comes in with a 1-2 record. Here's a ground ball hit sharply to third and just past the third baseman, Jeff Tessmer, right through his legs, and Chris Seeley, the batter, gets on for the Colts. Seeley, the left fielder, is on with the first hit of the game. There's Seeley. Got around on it, Joe, pretty good.
He hit that very hard, and you see the third baseman playing well inside on the grass, but the ground is so wet here that anything hit on the ground is going to slow down right away, so it's not as risky a proposition as it might usually be.
And that brings up David Crow. The ball gets away from the catcher, and that means Seeley will go down to second base. So the Colts in pretty good position here with nobody out. We've got Seeley on second, and David Crow, the batter, the shortstop, for the Colts.
And these two teams having similar type of years. Athens at 4-9, Troy at 5-9. Troy, though, a very, very young team, heavy with sophomores, and coaches look for a lot in the future from these guys.
A very good bunt by Crow, gets the runner down to third, and Crow's sacrifice works.
Perfectly executed, and you can see that soft infield, the dirt and the grass just soaked. They really, from what you can see on the screen, it looks a lot better than it is. They did a great job of getting it in playing condition. You look in the outfield, and it's just a mess out there.
It is. The wind is really blowing towards center field, so a big advantage to the batters, and this brings up Kyle Rance. Rance, as you remember, the big football player, the quarterback, the defensive lineman. He did it all for the football team.
Right, and next year he'll be a tight end and long snapper at Michigan State. Used to see him in basketball. He took basketball season off this year to condition, which is probably smart if you want to play football in college, but he's back for some baseball for the final time.
Great size on Kyle Rance here. He chases the ball down low, and
he changed up on him, I think,
yeah.
and they said he's a finesse pitcher. They, like we said a few minutes ago, coaches compare him to the way Tanana was near the end of his career. He's not going to fire it past you, but he's going to make you have to think while you're up there.
The pitch from Schiller. The first ball outside and high, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kyle Rance. There you see Chris Seeley, who started the game with a hard-hit ground ball to third, right through the legs of Tesmer, and an error on the third baseman.
Well, you think that was an error?
Yeah, he went right through his legs.
That was hit hard.
I would think, well, he shouldn't have been playing that close.
That's the coaches.
Yeah. The ball outside, and it evens the count at 2-2 to Kyle Rance.
True, and there's no official score, so for all we know, the Athens coaches might call it a error, and the Troy coaches might call it a hit.
But being non-biased, I would call that an error. Rance fouls one off to keep the count even at 2-2.
Yeah, keeps himself alive in the box there. Rance, a huge target at 6'6", a very big strike zone, and pitchers have to love that. You know, should mention too, most of these guys know each other. One of the Troy Athens coaches knows all these guys. He's their Legion coach, and these two teams pretty much combined for one American Legion team in the summer.
And that would be a pretty darn good team when you combine these two schools together. The pitch from Schiller.
Foul tipped.
Foul right into the catcher's mitt, and a strikeout in the first one for Schiller. So Daryl Schiller picks up a big out in Kyle Rance.
Yeah, good job for Daryl Schiller to have. He had a guy on third with 1 out. Now it's not as sure a thing of getting the run in.
There's the pitch, and the foul tip, and a good effort by the catcher, Paul McGlone, to hang on to that one. And that brings up Jim Essien, and he is the son of the former major leaguer Jim Essien.
Former Cubs manager.
Yeah, and Cubs manager. Jim Essien played with a lot of teams, played with the Chicago White Sox, I believe, to start out his career, most of his career there.
So this guy's used to this wind that we're having today.
Yeah, playing at Wrigley. Here's a ground ball right back to the pitcher, and that'll get him out of the inning. So Schiller comes back after getting that first base runner on, and Jim Essien grounds out 1-3 to the pitcher to first baseman, and that will end the top of the first. Let's take a look.
Well, here you see it's a hard hit ball, but again, anything that's going to touch the ground is going to die real quick because it's so soft and wet out there. Makes it a little easier for the pitcher. Still a good reaction by Schiller, able to get the runner out or the hitter out, get out of there with no runs.
So we head now to the bottom of the first, and we'll be seeing Paul McGlone, Jeff Tesmer, the third baseman, and Pete Tocco. So it's unusual to see Paul McGlone, the catcher, leading off. There you see the first baseman for the Colts. That's Chris Crowder. And the Athens Redhawks talking it over down on the sideline.
And they're probably pointing out something that they didn't like somewhere in the defensive setup, I would guess, in the first inning, or maybe pointing something out that might happen.
That's Jurgen down there, number 2. Tim Jurgen, the shortstop that they're talking to. And the pitcher, Aaron Miles. Aaron Miles, 1-2 coming in. He's pitched a total of 25 innings, and he's had 35 strikeouts in those 25 innings, and an earned run average of 3.5. So he's got quite a pitch. He struck out a lot of batters, Joe.
Well, that's something the coaches were saying. He's got a losing record, but with that low ERA, it's just the case of it being a young team. They even tend to get guys on base, and they just don't bring them in. You see the Athens batting order.
McGlone, Tesmer, Tocco to lead it off, and then DeCarlo, Chet Miller, Brian Shaver, Brandon Cecil, Tim Jurgen, and Chad Miller. And defensively, this is how the Troy Colts line up. It'll be Seeley, Rance, and Mulby in the outfield. Essien, Crow, Klauser, Crowder in the infield. Miles will be the pitcher, and Simony will be doing the catching for the Troy Colts. And here to lead it off again, McGlone, the catcher. Paul, a senior, also plays infield, outfield, and they use him in the catcher slot today. And the winds start to pick up now. It'll go in and out. And the pitch outside.
Well, high and outside there. And this wind, I would think the wind's even affecting the pitcher. You know, it's going to just play havoc with the outfielders. If you can get one to right center, it could pick it up and throw it out for you. It's only 310 to right field, 312 to left.
1-1 the count to McLawn. And here's a shot, a base hit up the gap. He could get two out of this. And the outfielder's having a little trouble out there. Rance finally picks it up and guns it to second, but not in time for McLawn.
His quarterback arm, though, he did get that in quick. And again, you know, not to belabor a point already in the first inning, but that outfield is a bit of a quagmire, and you could even see as the ball hit, almost like a golf shot, it started to die down. You've got to figure it picked up a lot of water on it right away. That could account for just not being able to get it there. It might slip out of your mitt.
And McLawn goes in easily into second base. And that'll bring up Tessmer, Jeff Tessmer, the third baseman.
All right, well, Troy had this in the first inning. They had a guy on second with nobody out. Athens, sometimes they like to run, sometimes not. They like to get a feel for the catchers. Of course, the theory usually is you steal on the pitcher, not the catcher.
And that's why the pitcher steps off the rubber now, and we'll look at the runner.
I always like to believe that 'cause I was a catcher, so it's always the pitcher's fault, you know?
See Tessmer. Shortstop sneaking up behind him back there. You can see it in the screen. And the count now, 2 balls, no strikes, and the runner is definitely affecting Miles' concentration here.
Yeah, well, here's a left-handed hitter who, again, just talked about the wind blowing right center. If he can pull one, get it up in the air, might be able to carry out. Unfortunately, he's not a pull hitter usually. He's more of an opposite field hitter.
Paul McLawn at second, nobody out, and Tessmer the batter with 3 balls, no strikes on him right now. And taking all the way for the walk, and that'll give the Colts a force out now. So I kind of wonder if they were kind of pitching around him anyway.
Might have been because not one of those pitches was real close to being a strike.
Yep. So the catcher, Simony, coming out there. You see McLawn at second, and Tessmer is at first. McLawn comes out, the catcher, or excuse me, Simony comes out to talk to Miles. And he goes back now. Coming up to the plate is Pete Tocco, the first baseman.
And Tocco, I mentioned before, a guy we saw in football the last couple of years, one of their top players.
6'2", 170 senior. There's a strike, the first pitch from Miles to Tocco.
So whatever he didn't do to the previous batter, he's doing now. He's getting that ball over the plate.
So not only the players battling the wind, but our cameramen in their positions. So
and us.
And us. Yeah. We are not in the booth.
We're out. We're on the booth.
We're on the booth, on the football booth. Not a perfect day. A little cool. There you see the lead runner. That's McLawn at second. Tocco takes on that one, a high inside pitch, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike to Pete Tocco.
Man, I still think, I'm sure Essian's sitting at third base going, I thought Chicago was a windy city. I grew up in this. This is nothing. We get this every day.
Miles delivers and hits Tocco to load the bases.
Well, that's not what they wanted. Bases loaded, nobody out.
So a double, a walk, and now
Hit batsman.
a hit batsman, and that'll bring up the cleanup hitter. Let's take a look. This one's square in the back.
That's the kind that really doesn't hurt. You know, it stings for a minute, but again, the biggest thing now is the pitcher has to get his confidence back.
Tim DiCarlo, the batter. Ball outside and high.
You can't pitch around this guy. Nowhere to put him.
Bases loaded. For Tim DiCarlo, the cleanup batter, 5'10" junior. So the junior now gets a chance to come through here in the early going of this game. We're in the bottom of the first. There's a strike to DiCarlo.
All right, well, that's his 13th pitch and only his 4th strike of the inning.
Miles having his trouble then. Pitcher throwing into this heavy wind that we're having today. Ball also. So Miles still trying to get that ball over.
Yeah, pitching to a guy who's 5'10", that's not that small for baseball. It's, it's a small strike zone, but something he should be used to. Actually, I would think that getting it over the ball is probably affected in flight on the throw. He changed up on him. More so, I would think that pitcher's is probably affected. Excuse me, the pitcher's balance is probably affected a little bit standing on the mound. It is blowing that hard.
Yeah. 2-2 the count to DiCarlo as he steps back in. Aaron Miles, the pitcher, bases loaded, nobody out. And here's a swing and a miss. So DiCarlo goes down, and 1 out. And a big strikeout for Aaron Miles as he gets the cleanup hitter, the right fielder, Tim DiCarlo. And there you see head coach for the Troy Colts. There's Paul Deagle. The wind affecting my pronunciation. There's Paul. And the first pitch
And Miles,
is a ball.
Miles, as opposed to Schler, more of a power pitcher, but got that strikeout because he was able to change up a little through the throughout the at-bat, keep the batters guessing a little bit.
Ball up high, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. So Miles again getting behind the batter.
And most of the pitches that he's missing high and wide. High and outside, to the right-handed batters anyway.
There's a pop-up on the infield, and the shortstop is calling for it.
That's the win.
Fly. He is out. And they thought that they could touch the base.
They
so
could.
The shortstop.
Well, they could, couldn't they? There's a guy on first base.
No.
He's out.
The batter is out, so he will.
Oh, okay, that's right.
He
that's
is
right.
out.
Okay, yeah.
Does not have to be on the cut.
The coaches are arguing.
Well, they're
this.
saying
This is a
routine
pop-up.
fly ball, and it wasn't. And, with the wind, it became an outfield fly ball. But,
You
might
see
have
the
been a-
shortstop, and that wind just took the ball,
Yeah.
but the ref, or the umpire, had already called infield fly rule.
Yeah, and you could hear down there one of the coaches saying bad call, and the umps are probably second-guessing themselves a little. And what they made the right call based on everything they've ever done, but the wind came into effect. I'm sure that's going to affect them if the situation comes up again.
So 1 run does score.
It's easier to figure out the budget than the infield fly rule.
So 1 run does score for Athens, and we have 2 runners on, second and third. There you see the score, 1-0 on 1 hit for Athens. Miles throwing some heat, but having some trouble up there. 1-1 the count to Brian Shaver, the left fielder.
Aaron Miles, a junior.
And a strike, so there's some confidence now for Miles as he is ahead of the batter. The 1 ball, 2 strike count. Let's take a look at the pitch again. Kind of dropped in there.
Quick split-fingered fastball way that sunk after.
And this one up high, evens the count at 2-2. Brian Shaver, a senior, 5'7", 145. The left fielder batting now with 2 down and 2 on.
That's a small strike zone.
And that's why we go to ball 3 and a full count now.
Well, with 2 outs, minute, second, and third, you don't mind walking him. Get your force anywhere, but you better get the next guy, because if they start knocking these in, you're in a hole that you don't want to, you're not going to get out of.
Big pitch right there, and he walked him. So Brian Shaver draws a walk and loads the bases.
And yeah, I'm sure that was a very cautious at-bat from a defensive standpoint, in that the last thing you needed with a short batter, because sometimes you try too hard to pinpoint it.
Outside, he wanted to go chase that.
Well, he was going outside and high on those. The last thing you want is one in the dirt, which creates a pass ball situation, unless the guy on third score without any hits. At least this way you sink or swim on one batter.
Brandon Cecil comes up, and he hits one right down the line, and the wind blows it almost fair.
Yeah, that thing was
inches foul.
I don't know how, if you folks watching could see it, but that should have been fouled by a couple of yards, and it was fouled by a couple inches.
They kept drifting back towards fair territory. The wind is blowing towards center field.
Man, I was like, if I could get a golf shot to go right to left like that,
Yeah.
it came right back into
That's
play.
my problem. I wish. Yeah, you're right. Maybe we should be out on the course today in this direction.
Only going that way, though.
Only going that way. Not too many courses like that.
No.
So 1 strike to Cecil. There's a ball.
There's a ball inside. He's pitching a little different to him. Cecil, 5'11", a senior. Neither team well, Athens has a few more seniors than Troy, but both these teams are relatively young.
So now a 2-ball, 1 strike count to Cecil.
Well, this is the 27th pitch of the inning coming up. His arm's got to be getting tired.
Another ball.
Yeah, evening out the balls and strikes a little bit, but we're at, well, correct, 27 pitches, and 17 of them, I believe, are balls. 28 pitches and 17 are balls.
3-1, and a ball up high. He walks in a runner. So Aaron Miles having a tough going here in the first inning.
Well, now you're getting such a high pitch count without any rest that, yeah, this is good. Coach has to come out and talk to him just to let his arm rest and plus get him kind of calmed down. You got the courtesy runner coming in, number 13, Jason Ewald's going to run at first base. Those that aren't familiar with the high school rule, you can use a courtesy runner for your pitcher or your catcher, or both if you like. You know, you want to keep those guys rested, and catchers allegedly are slow. I disagree with that. Some of them are, but actually most of them are, but that's just one of those things in high school you're allowed. You're also, the DH rule is in effect if you want it. I don't believe Troy is using it. I'm not sure about Athens, but that's just an optional thing. At this level, so many of the pitchers, you know, are good at other things, and they're good hitters anyway, and it doesn't matter.
There you have the runner on third, and that is Pete Toko. On second, you'll see Brian Shaver.
And Jason
And
Ewald.
over on first is Brandon Cecil.
Well, Jason Ewald running for
Yeah,
Brandon Cecil.
Yep.
Brandon Cecil sitting on the bench right now.
A pinch runner again, as Joe mentioned. And now batting is the shortstop.
That's Tim Gergen. Sophomore, 5'10", 150. Again, just so people listening don't get the pinch runner, he's not. Because pinch runner means that Cecil's out of the game.
Right, okay.
Courtesy runner.
Courtesy runner.
Yeah. If you were the coach and you said pinch runner, he'd be out of the game. We don't want that.
So Cecil comes back in after the courtesy runner. Here's a pop-up on the infield. And a shortstop calling for it again. Crow, and this goes back on him again. And you think he would have figured that this was going to blow back again on him, and it did it again.
Great job, though, by Crow to adjust to that.
Stay with it.
Thing is, you know, you're looking at it in the air, and you still have to play the way you're taught, and the wind is always going to do it. Even major leaguers have that problem. That thing is so high. I mean, and he's actually looking into the sun, and in this case, who cares about the sun? It's the wind that's killing him. Watch, this comes in on it, and now turn to make a Willie Mays style catch.
Yeah. And Crow gets it this time and gets the Athens Redhawks out. They pick up 2 runs on 1 hit, and they lead the Troy Colts going into the second inning, 2-0.
And now you'll see Brandon Cecil back behind the plate. Another thing the courtesy runner does, aside from the fact, you know, catchers and pitchers, you just don't want them to wind themselves as far as, you know, they do more than the other positions. Is he had time to get the equipment on rather than be stranded on base, and you go, you know, it just delays the game a little bit more. Most of the kids
You can see where we are,
like
Joe. As,
it's
you get the perspective. We're on top of the football press box, looking down right on the field, and you get the bird's eye view from behind the plate of Daryl Schiller.
Isn't there a Bob Dylan song about this whole deal here, blowing in the wind or something?
Let's hope
We
we
are.
don't. Our umpires today, Don Wayne will be behind the plate, and Tim Hemming in the field.
Okay,
down
here
there
we go.
explaining that force out, the infield fly that they call. And the runner had to be tagged because he didn't have to run.
Yeah.
There you see Don Wayne and Tim Hemming. Hemming is right there on the screen out field.
Yeah, and I think both coaches were a little upset with what happened on that. One coach didn't even want infield fly called, and the other fouled on force out. And I think the wind caused all that to happen.
So Daryl Schiller now working with a 2-run lead. First pitch is down low for a ball. Chris Crowder, the batter, the first baseman, 25. Crowder with a check swing, and he got him for a strike.
Fooled him. I don't know if he changed up or put a curve on him, but he hesitated. Take a look here. Now, he might have crossed the plate with that check swing, because that wasn't in the strike zone.
Ground ball to short, and
that's an error.
A problem picking it up for Gergen.
And I don't know what happened with that, because that thing was rolling so slow. You know, took one hop after it came off the grass.
So an error on the shortstop.
Well, once again, the leadoff batter gets on in the inning, but in the first inning, Troy did the same thing, and they couldn't bring him in.
So Gergen allows the runner to get on, and Greg Simony, the catcher.
Now they say Schiller, I was about to say, coaches say that Schiller has a great pickoff move. And all pitchers with great pickoff moves, especially left-handers, also have a deceptive, a not so good pickoff move that they'll use to fool you. That might have been what he just used there.
Schiller comes to the plate, and he's going to go to second with it, and throws just a little bit off, and that'll hurt. As we have 2 men on, nobody out. So Simony does a nice job in getting his bunt down. Makes Schiller field it, but he took just a little too much time, Joe.
Took a little time, and actually, if the throw is on target, I think he gets him, though. Take a look here. Schiller's going to turn and gun. Right about there is when he got someone yelled at him, too, probably the catcher. And just pulled the second baseman off the bag. And now, again, the courtesy runner comes into play. In this case, it'll be number 2, Ken Kahida.
So Kahida, the runner at first now. As you see, the runner at second, that is Crowder.
And it's nice in one way, somebody can rest and all that. Of course, if you're the catcher.
There's Kahida.
Yeah, unless you hit a home run, you never actually get to touch the plate. You never score a run.
Sophomore in there, and again, it's Tessmer, the third baseman, playing very, very close.
Well, I'd bunt again if I'm Troy.
And they are, and that is why Tessmer's playing in. So they go to first, they get the first play at first, and the runners move up. So a good play for the Colts as they have 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out now.
And now you would think Schiller probably, he's not going to walk the guy, he's going to pitch around him a little bit. Mulby up to bat. I wouldn't give him anything real good to hit. Now you get your third baseman back where he would normally play.
There you see the play at first. Miles with a good bunt, having Tessmer come in to field that one. Mulby the batter now, and he takes a strike. So Daryl Schiller trying to get out of this jam right now with 1 out, 2 on in scoring position. Ground ball to third. Tessmer will go to first with it. 1 run will score, and they try to hold the runner at third. So good job by Kahida to wait for the throw, and he advances to third.
In fact, that's both teams executed everything perfectly there. You get the run in, you get the guy over to third. He's probably, I'm guessing, one of your faster guys since you're using him as a courtesy runner. And now you bring Klauser up to bat. 2 down, man on third, trying to bring this the tying run in.
Klauser the batter, and there you see Kahida at third. He represents the tying run for the Troy Colts. Schiller now working with 2 out and 1 strike to Klauser. Swing and a miss by Klauser as he lunges for that one.
He must be, I don't think these coaches were exaggerating about him being a finesse pitcher, because when you see the Troy batters swing and miss, they're swinging low, they're swinging high, they're not making good swings. They're getting fooled on everything.
Look at how close that first baseman is in, and now he'll go back. First baseman
Tell you what,
toying with the batter.
Daryl
Now goes
Schiller.
all the way back to his position.
Daryl Schiller in the first inning, 13 pitches, 10 strikes. This inning, 8 strikes, 1 ball.
8 strikes, 1 ball. continues to deliver. There you see the first baseman to the right of your screen. And he will creep up. As he did earlier. And there's the big strikeout for Schiller. So strikes out the last batter, Clouser, to end the inning as the Troy Colts pick up 1 run. No hits. It was a fielder's choice that got the runner in. And the Troy Colts battle back, get 1 back, and there's the strikeout for Schiller.
Yeah, Schiller's really got command of the game right now. He gave up a run there, but you know, and there were no hits off that. And you know, Ken Phillips has given us all the numbers there. He's getting the ball over the plate, and when they're swinging and missing, like I said, he's not powering it past them. They're lunging at the ball, and even if you do make contact, you're not going to hit anything hard that way. This guy, on the other hand, is firing the ball. If he just starts getting over the plate, it's going to be hard. It's harder to do in this weather again because his balance is thrown off by the wind and the pitches are thrown off. And you get a couple balls into the outfield and you're throwing wet, dirty balls. You only have so many at a high school game. This isn't the major leagues. And he's, it's one of those things where he's going to have to make a concentrated effort to get that ball over the plate, in which case he's going to give up some velocity.
So we head into the bottom of the second now. And Athens will be sending up the designated hitter, Chad Miller, and then the top of the lineup.
Yeah, again, there's an example. Athens is using the designated hitter. Troy is not. Obviously, Aaron Miles, better hitter than Daryl Schiller, I would guess.
The Colts trying to shut out the Redhawks here in the bottom of the second and trying to get back in this one. They are down 2-1 here in the bottom of the second. Chad Miller to lead it off, the designated hitter. He'll be followed by McLaughlin and Tesmer for the Redhawks.
Is it May?
It is starting to chill off a little bit.
The day we're doing this is May 1st, isn't it?
May 1st.
It's that global warming.
Miles delivers to Miller. He takes the first pitch and hits it out to Kyle Rance. Rance gets under it. Had plenty of time to get under it and just past the big puddles out there in center field.
Yeah, I'll tell you that.
Miller has the right idea, get it up there, and it might take off.
Probably didn't get it high enough, but yeah, I think both coaches are aware of it too, both managers, I'm sorry. You get that thing up in the air and hope that the wind picks it up and throws it out of there. And if nothing else, we've seen what it's done with the infielders on high pop-ups. Maybe get one a little higher, you could throw the outfielder off.
Paul McLaughlin, the batter now. The catcher, a leadoff hitter. And you saw what he did in the first inning. Doubled back in the first to get the first run of this game in here. The count 1-1 to McLaughlin. He fouls this one back.
Oh, yeah, went after a high one, but a high, hard one. Those are coming in good.
Yeah. Miles starting to cook up and heat up a nice fastball there.
Yeah, that's out of the strike zone, but that's one tell me you wouldn't have swung at that. That's what a batter dreams of. Those are the kind you hit out.
Yeah, I would have swung, but I don't think I would have connected like he didn't even foul it off.
Height difference.
Yeah, a little height difference. Count even now at 2-2 to McLaughlin. Aaron Miles again coming into this game 1-2. And a lot of strikeouts for this guy. Here's a ground ball to short, taken by Crowder over to first, and they pick up their second out.
Routine play, and this inning's going a lot better than the previous inning for the Troy defense.
So 2 down now, and that'll bring up Jeff Tesmer as we see the replay here, the ground ball to Crowder. Crowder does a nice job of staying down on it. And just nipping him at first there.
He's definitely getting the pitches over those called strike.
Tesmer walked in the first inning and scored the second run, the lead run right now, as it turns out. There's a ball. 1-1 the count to Jeff Tesmer, the third baseman.
And this is kind of inning Aaron Miles needs. You can't go through a first inning with 32 pitches.
Here's a shot to center field. Rance turns around and he won't get this one. It's gone.
Left-handed batter to right center field. That's 350 out there, and that cleared it I'd think by at least 10 feet.
Yeah. I think Rance knew it was gone right away. He turned around and just gave up. The wind, really, even if it wasn't windy, that wouldn't have done anything on that one. It was gone either way.
That was well hit. But again, you know, your left-handed batter has an advantage here, or anyone who can hit it with some power to right center because the wind's going out.
Take a look at where the pitch was, right over the
low,
plate.
yeah, just where you want it. And
got the meat of the bat on it. And
Elvis has left the building.
yeah, he has, and it's a 3-1 lead now for the Red Hawks. Well, Miles was cruising along here with 2 easy outs, and now has given up another run to the Red Hawks.
Well, you know, it was, you know, I had opened my mouth. It was the kind of inning he wanted, and then he wasn't throwing a lot of pitches, and he was getting it over the plate. Unfortunately for him, they took that one out, but you know, still, this is a much better inning than the first one was.
Yeah, Toko now the batter. Pete Toko was hit by a pitch back in the first inning.
When you go back to that home run, it didn't even look like it. There wasn't like a whole lot of, you know, it didn't look like he was trying for a home run or anything. They'll say home runs are mistakes usually. It was just a good, solid
Good
hit.
line shot, actually. Here's one in the hole. Crowder comes up with it, but I don't know if he can get him.
Still, nice play, nice effort.
So Toko comes up with a single, hitting it into the hole there for a big hit here after the home run. So the Red Hawks still alive now with 2 outs.
Well, here's a ground ball. It takes a while to get there again because of the wet field. By the time he makes the diving play, there's no way you're going to throw that guy out.
So Aaron Miles rolling along with 2 easy outs, a fly out by Chad Miller, a ground out by McGlaughlin. But Tessmer broke it up with a big home run. And Pete Toko singles now. And that'll bring up Tim DiCarlo.
Yeah, we got a discussion between we had a discussion between the second baseman and the shortstop. That was what we were waiting for. Now we got a Troy coach coming out.
Paul Deagle's
coming out
to talk to the shortstop Crowder.
Now, you know, maybe he got injured.
Yeah. Let's take a look.
Or
just get some communication down on what's going to happen here. They are afraid of maybe a stolen base here.
Well, that's probably what you're doing is you're, you know, talking about who covers.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the fans out here battling the weather. It's a little cold and windy for a May 1st day, but they're still out here. The battle of Troy, if you will, between the Red Hawks and the Colts. Troy Athens against Troy High School. Athens on top right now, 3-1 here in the bottom of the second. There's the ball down low.
Well, he took something off of that.
Yeah.
That's the kind of steal on if you know it's coming.
There you see the runner at first. That's Pete Toko. His single. And the pickoff move to first. Not in time over there. As Miles having a much tougher time than Schiller, being the right-hander.
You got to keep him honest over there.
Nice
2
lead.
outs. Yeah, with 2 outs, though, I'd worry about the batter.
Yeah. It's a ball outside.
I know that Athens has been known to run a little bit, but just, you know, this is what got him in trouble in the first inning was I think he got a little flustered by things. Just, hey, things were going well until that home run. Just keep pitching it hard and getting it over the plate.
Miles going inside now, and it's 3 balls and no strikes. So we've got some things brewing here for the Red Hawks. With 2 outs, this all started. The move to first. Just trying to keep him honest. And not too big of a lead. Miles delivers. Up high and another walk. And the recipients are the Red Hawks. 2 runners on now with 2 outs.
Well, you know, when it was starting to get away from him before, he was missing high. And now he's missing high again. And you're getting into that high pitch count.
The Colts may be looking to get someone going in the bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, they said he's basically got a fastball, decent curve. He's working on a changeup, which we've seen him use a couple times. It's actually been successful because of the fastball. But, you know, by now his arm's probably getting tired and we're only in the second inning.
Bottom of the second, Miles struggling as he throws a 1-1 count now to the batter, Chet Miller.
Well, he's over 50 pitches in the game already.
And we're only in the second inning. Here's a shot
Nice
past
try.
Crowder. This will
Great
bring in one. And the runners will hold up after that. So a big hit for Chet Miller as he comes up with a big single to knock in Pete Tocco. And the fourth run comes across for the Redhawks. Let's take a look,
Line
Joe.
shot. Take a look at this. Perfect pitch. I mean, it's right where you want it. Hit it hard and just past the diving shortstop Crow. Right in the outfield. And they are getting Schiller a nice lead for him to work some of that finesse stuff with. And that's that. Finesse pitchers aren't the kind that you get rallies around usually. You gotta get them flustered. You get them a lead, and they can take advantage of you.
Ryan Shaver, the batter now, and a strike to him. All this again started with 2 outs. Seemed like Aaron Miles was going to have the inning he wanted, getting the first 2 batters easily. And the stolen base at third. He goes in safely. So a big stolen base by Tim DiCarlo.
And a good job by Jim Essien. Throws in the dirt, and Essien blocked it and came up with it. Otherwise, that's another run.
That ball goes into left field, and you can send the runners around. There
Well,
you see.
you still have the man on first, though, and this may be a setup to run a double steal on him.
Yeah. He can afford it now.
Well, there was no reason for him not to go unless you want this guy batting.
Fake the steal down there. Simony hangs on to the low ball. And
Yeah.
actually, they called it a strike here. Let's see.
Well, if you want Shaver to be your batter, then you don't send the guy on first, because obviously I think you go ahead and walk him if you have second and third. But double steal is a possibility, and again, this is the team that likes to run sometimes.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner going. They're not going to do anything. And
Smart.
they'll have Ryan Shaver batting with 2 runners in scoring position now. And 2 outs.
Well, with 2-2 count, I think you still go after the batter here.
And he goes inside, and we have a full count. Miles upset now with the call, so a little frustration out there.
I think he's upset with himself, too.
Full count
Yeah,
to Shaver. And he hits one right back up the box, and they might get him at first.
score that 1-4-3, right?
Yep. So Brian Shaver hit one hard, but right back at the pitcher, and grounds out to end the inning. But 2 big runs scored for the Redhawks, and they lead it. There's the ground ball just off the glove of Miles and deflected to second base, fortunately for the Colts.
I'll tell you, it would be good for Aaron Miles, for Troy to get not just a couple of runs, but make this inning last a little bit. Let him get his arm rested. He's thrown a ton of pitches already in 2 innings. And he's at 54 pitches, 33 of them balls. But I mean, in my life, I think I pitched a total of 8 innings ever. But I didn't like it much. But so I can't say that about pitching. But from catching, you know that you deal with pitchers, and that's they get flustered like that.
There's the line score right now. Troy, 1 run, no hits, 1 error, and Athens 4 runs on 4 hits and 2 errors. And they picked up 2 runs on 3 hits in that bottom of the second. Mark Sackett, the head coach for the Troy Athens Redhawks.
And here's
the thing, they got it all started for the Redhawks, a big 2-run inning here, as we see Jeff Tessmer just tie into one. And that was a line shot. It took off right away. You could tell right off the bat.
And you could see even center fielder Rance. He knew there was no way. You don't jump at that. He's 6'6", and there's no point. That thing was long gone.
And even with the wind today, that would have been gone on any day.
That's
really.
gone without the wind.
Yeah. So, number 3, Jeff Tessmer, getting it all started.
You know what I figure?
A big inning.
They're aiming for the camera out there.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, there is Tessmer, the third baseman. It wasn't so much that they only scored 2 runs. It was just wearing down the pitcher. That's what it did.
He was going great. 2 outs on like 6 pitches, which is what he needed after a 34-pitch first inning. and it fell apart.
Top of the lineup here for the Colts to lead off the third inning. Chris Seeley, David Crow, and Kyle Rance to face Daryl Schiller.
Yeah, and conversely, we talked about maybe getting a long inning here to let Miles rest. Well, Schiller is getting to rest a lot.
Yeah.
And he's already got it
showing.
going.
He's got 2 strikes on the batter already.
Yeah, I mean, the only potential negative to that is maybe he falls out of a groove. But
they get a little cool.
Yeah.
Here's a pop-up. This is out of play. Off to the right side. And Schiller still hanging in with no balls and 2 strikes to the batter. Let's take a look.
Good pitch.
Good pitch in there.
A little late on it.
This is a good pitch also. Good play by Tesmer. And he comes up with it. And 1 up and 1 down. So Tesmer not only doing with the bat, nice play down there at third now.
That's his 3rd assist already.
David Crow now will step up to the plate. There's Tesmer. Good arm. And a nice easy throw for the first baseman to pick up. Crow fouls it off and picks up a 0-1 count. Crow had a sacrifice in the first inning to move up Chris Seeley, who got on base in a hard hit ball. Here's a line shot to the second baseman, soft liner for Crow, and we got 2 up and 2 down. Now remember, that's how the inning started for the Red Hawks last time.
But again, you know, another thing that's hurting Aaron Miles is there's been a couple errors by Troy. And Athens, on the other hand, you know, again, you see a solid defense on that infield. Every time something comes to a guy, they make the play.
This one hit right to the second baseman, Chet Miller. Here's a ground ball to short, so all 3 infielders, other than the first baseman, get a chance to make it, and this one's in the dirt. And good hustle by Rance to get down
error
there.
and a little hesitation by the shortstop.
Yeah, it took just a little too long.
Yeah,
He was deep.
Yeah, Gergen got it, and he took a little step there. And, you know, you really don't want to do that. You see the throw in the dirt.
Yeah.
And not able to pick it up and get the out. Well, this is the kind of thing that's been happening to Troy before. Now maybe it's happening to Athens.
Good scoop by Toko, but you didn't see Toko stretch much for that one.
Well, you got the pinch runner Kahida at first, or pinch now. I'm doing it. Courtesy runner.
I think it's Rance still in there, number 14.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh,
Rance is still
I thought they were going to put him in there.
So Essien, who grounded out to the mound last time up. A timeout called as some dirt got in Essien's eye. Jim Essien, the third baseman, up for the Troy Colts, trying to get the Colts back on the board here. They trail 4-1 here in the top of the third. Daryl Schiller in control right now. His team with a 3-run lead. Delivers to Essien, a nice pitch. And it's 1-1. Two down, Kyle Rance on first for the Colts.
Troy's got a couple guys warming up, Kahida and
Ground ball to second, to short, easy play at second, and that'll do it for the Troy Colts in the top of the third.
Yeah, Kahida and Seeley were warming up, as you can see, not really a bullpen, but over by the school. And I don't know if they're coming in right away or if they're going to let Miles come in. Oh, Miles is coming out to start the inning, but you know, again, that pitch count is already so high.
There's a ground ball, easy play for the Red Hawks, and the Colts go down, no runs on no hits, and one man left for the Colts in the top of the third. We'll go to the bottom of the third. As you see, Athens leads 4-1. And coming up for them, it'll be Cecil, Brandon Cecil, Tim Gergen, and Chad Miller. The bottom of the lineup for the Red Hawks to face Aaron Miles. I wouldn't be surprised if they go to some relief here if Miles gets in trouble here in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, like
They've got some players warming up.
they've got guys warming up, and again, he's throwing enough pitches for about 4 innings worth already. And if he gets in trouble again, he's going to get to that number where, hey, if he doesn't have it, he doesn't have it anyway. But you know, you're not going to get a complete game out of this guy, most likely.
He is throwing some heat down there right now in warm-ups. You can hear the pop of the glove.
Oh, that's the thing, too.
Next week, don't forget to tune in. It'll be the Berkeley Bears against the Ferndale Eagles, 2 bordering towns, and a pretty good matchup there. That's Saturday and Monday at 8 p.m. right here on TCI 63.
But, you know, again, we're talking about wearing yourself out with pitches. This is a power pitcher. He throws hard. It's not like it's a finesse pitcher who's not taking a lot out on each pitch.
There you see the stands and surroundings at Troy Athens High School. It wouldn't be a bad day if that wind would die down.
Oh,
It would be
it's sunny
almost,
out.
yeah.
And
And
on the positive
like
side,
I said, it's not only affecting the players, the batters, it's affecting our camera people who are really battling the elements.
maybe by the end of the game, it can blow the field dry.
Brandon Cecil, the batter, takes a ball inside, another one down low inside. 2 balls, no strikes, so already Aaron Miles trying to have some control is having trouble with it.
And now he's missing high. Yeah,
He's all over the plate.
Yeah, it's not like he's just missing a little bit to one area. Early, he was missing high and outside every time. Yeah, now it's almost like he's trying too hard to pinpoint the pitches.
There's a strike. 3-1 now to Brandon Cecil. Cecil walked, and with that walk, forced in a run back in the first inning. So he got an RBI out of it.
Yeah, let's see what the
Here's
wind
a
does.
long fly to Rance. Rance is under it. The wind blows it out there.
Well,
And
it didn't do
fortunately
anything.
for Rance, it got it out of the big puddles in center field is what it did.
Yeah, I don't know if it really had any effect. He played it right. It might be. It probably is affecting the infielders more. Of course, the infielders aren't used to that stuff.
Yeah, the infielders actually get the higher pop-ups than
Yeah.
the outfielders do.
And they're not as used to that sort of thing either. Outfielders, a little more
They have a
ready to
chance.
adjust.
Yeah, they have more time to adjust to it.
Yeah.
Tim Gergen, the shortstop, coming up now for the Red Hawks as he gets a strike. And 1-1 now, the count. Gergen, as you saw, popped out to the infield last time up. And that ended that big first inning for the Red Hawks.
Now, once again, behind in the count for Aaron Miles.
Miles trying to even the count here. And he can't do it. 3 balls, 1 strike, and he is moving his arm like it's hurting out there.
He's tired. Again,
Yeah.
he's not only throwing a lot, his hitters aren't getting it. They haven't gotten any hits yet. He's not getting much rest between innings.
There's a base hit right up the middle. And holding up there at first is Tim Gergen, so Gergen picks up his first hit of the game, and the first hit here in the third for either team. As Gergen heads up on first, and here's the pitch as we take a look. Good outside pitch, and he went with it. And
Just
right up the
passed.
middle, timeout called down on the field as Chad Miller comes up.
Well,
Chad, the designated hitter, batting for Daryl Schiller.
that timeout was so Gergen could get himself some footing over at first base. I'm guessing he's going to steal.
Yeah, faked.
He's going to fake like it, yeah.
Don't be surprised if Simony throws down to first, but I don't see the right fielder making any move to back it up, so I don't know if they would do that. There's another ball.
Yeah, there's a
1-1.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to try to pick him like that, but can't afford
There he
that. They can't
goes.
afford
Runner
the error.
goes. The throw down to second. They won't get him. Stolen base for Tim Gergen. So now a runner in scoring position with 1 out, and the Red Hawks look pretty good in this inning, too, to score 1.
Again, normally,
On deck is Paul McGlone, the leadoff batter.
Well, normally you steal off the pitcher there, and he was waiting for the right pitch and just read it perfectly, and wasn't really that close.
Nope. Swing and a miss. Chad Miller, and that evens up the count at 2-2. We're in the bottom of the third. The Red Hawks threatening again. They lead 4-1 over the Troy Colts. Miller hits one down to third. Essien looks the runner back, goes to first, and the runner goes to third. And it's going to be tough to get him, and they don't. So Gergen winds up on third, even though Essien looked the runner back and still picked up the out. So 2 down now and a run around third.
Yeah, it's kind of play at the high school level. You'll see that a lot. And Gergen, obviously not just a fast runner, a smart runner. He's reading everybody. He read the pitcher on his stolen base, and here he's doing a real good job of reading when Essien gives it up. And obviously had a feel for whether or not the first baseman had the kind of arm to get it back over there, and didn't think that he could. So he gets over there to third base. Now he's in scoring position with 2 outs.
And he stole the base on the outside, or rather came up on the outside of the base to make it tough for Essien to tag him. Here's McGlawn. Led off with a double for the Red Hawks in their first run back in the first inning. 1 for 2 today.
Slowed up on that one. A little curve got over and ahead of the batter early.
This is the last call for the 55.
The pitch by Miles. Here's one back to the mound and couldn't get to it, but it was slow rolling. They still got him. Good play by the shortstop for the Colts, David Crow, to get over there and stop the Red Hawk threat.
Well, when Miles deflects one, he always deflects it to a teammate.
Yeah.
It's working.
That time 1-6-3, and the Red Hawks couldn't do anything. It was a nice play by Crow to get over there. And just got him. So no runs on 1 hit and 1 man left. Here we go to the top of the 4th. The Red Hawks still up 4-1 here. Going into the 4th inning.
And Schiller is, this is the shortest rest he's had between innings.
Yeah.
And again, he hasn't thrown a ton of pitches yet. So far on the game, 27 strikes, 6 balls.
Not a bad ratio.
Good command, and look at that small number, 33 total pitches.
Yeah.
Miles threw 34 in the first inning.
Yeah. Not bad for Daryl Schiller, having a good game on the mound, but also Aaron Miles coming up with that short inning gave himself a little breather too.
Yeah, he's up to 73,
Yeah.
but still, yeah, it's not at the rate he was going. He would have been up around 100.
Yeah. But he gets a little rest now.
And the defense came up good big behind him there too. That helps.
So coming up now for the Colts, it'll be the heart of the lineup, Chris Crowder, the number 5 hitter, Greg Simony, and Aaron Miles, the pitcher.
Now, Crowder batting over 400 on the year. And one of their top hitters, Rance, is their top hitter, just under 500 actually.
Crowder takes one low for a ball.
Back him up, played a little with a low one, huh?
Crowder reached base back in the 2nd inning with an error by the shortstop. This time hits it to short again, and another error by the shortstop. He'll stay at first.
Well, that's twice he's done the same thing.
Yeah.
And it looks a little different at time, but he's hitching. He's double pumping. You know, you get it and go. You got to have a rhythm to it. That's something that coaches I'm sure are going to work with him on.
Let's see what Gergen does here.
You just can't wind up like that.
Gets it all right. Maybe should be Yep, there it is. He took a little too much time. Can't take that pump there. And then that forced him to gun it over there.
Again, he's only a sophomore. It's something that they're going to teach him. 'Cause that is, I was about to say, that's something that you do in junior high and at the freshman levels. He's only a sophomore. It's what he's used to. But believe me, by the time he's a senior, he's got to be good if he's starting shortstop as a sophomore. They'll work that out of him.
Greg Simony, the batter. No count on him yet as Schiller goes to first. Simony reached base in the second inning, also on a fielder's choice.
Yeah, you know, the basic theory in Gergen, I'm sure they'll tell them this too, and they teach this when you're catching anyway. Every step you take as a fielder is 3 or 4 for the runner. You just can't afford to do it. That's why a catcher's got to be able to just turn and go.
Simony chases the first pitch for a strike. No balls, 1 strike to him. As Crowder tries to take a lead at first, Schiller is keeping a watchful eye on him and goes home. Here's a bunt popped up in the air, and no one's going to get it. A foul ball.
Schiller,
all 3 players converging on the same point.
Yeah.
And I think Simony had a little something to do with Schiller not catching this. Let's take a look.
well, the runner's got the right to run on the baseline. And I think Schiller was smart also not going for it, because if he touches it and it's in fair territory, obviously it becomes a fair ball. Just let it roll foul and start over with him. I mean, you got an 0-2 count on the guy.
Good job by Simony to try to hurdle Schiller there. No balls, 2 strikes to Simony, so he's in a hole here, and I don't know if they're still going to put the bunt on with 2 strikes on him. Nope, he's going to swing. Give the
there you go.
Swing. There's the throw down to first.
Well, he slipped. That's why they did it.
Yeah.
And, you know, if they had to pick off from the start, they would have had it.
Yeah. Let's take a look. There's the throw down there.
Yeah, what you couldn't see.
McLawn.
Yeah, what you didn't see was that the runner slipped. Yeah, he slipped on the way back.
That forced the throw down there.
Exactly.
So the count now, even at 2-2, to Simony. He's working Schiller. There you see the
wind
runner.
is picked up again.
Yeah.
As you can see with the camera shake.
Crowder at first, and a nice job by McLawn to keep the ball in front of him. And Simony has quietly worked the pitcher to a full count now. So the Troy batters very disciplined up there now. And working on a 3-2 count with nobody out. And Crowder at first. Schiller delivers. This is a foul ball, way out of play.
Bring that thing a little more centered. He could get it right in the bucket.
I think our cameraman Dennis Westerland would appreciate one right now.
Dennis is either the bravest man or the stupidest man alive.
No comment. You're gonna have to talk to him after the game and figure that out for yourself.
Where he is, I wouldn't be where he is. I'd be too
The
scared.
pitch to Simony, down low, and we got 2 men on now. So Schiller now getting himself in a hole.
His first walk.
First walk of the game. So he, I think he was working too hard on getting Crowder back to first.
Yeah, now, and then here comes
There's your
Kahida,
buddy.
your courtesy runner.
Kahida comes in. Courtesy runner as Simony comes out. Now Simony's a catcher. You don't see many catchers stealing any bases. But McLawn does lead off, so kind of going against the norm there. Schiller now working with nobody out, 2 men on, and probably one of the biggest threats the Colts have had since the second inning, when they had the same type situation when Crowder led off that inning too. And Crowder scored the only run for the Colts, and he stands on second there. Aaron Miles, the batter, trying to help himself out now.
Right.
He had a sacrifice back in the second.
Well, now and Schiller's got no outs. This is the first time he's been in a jam. To see if he can get himself out of it.
There's a strike. No balls, 2 strikes now to Aaron Miles.
You know, that's what you do. You just get the ball over the plate, make him swing at it, make him hit it, make your fielders do the work.
2 on, nobody out. Miles looking for a good pitch to hit here. And he fouls one off. Keeps the count at 0-2.
Yeah, didn't make him chase anything 0-2 though. He went after him.
Yeah. I think opposing pitchers really like to pitch to the other pitcher. And
They don't get
challenge
to
him.
half the time though, you know?
Yeah, but challenge him and say, hey,
Yeah.
here's my best stuff, see what you can do.
Yeah, Miles doesn't get to pitch to Schiller. Athens is using the DH.
Yeah. There's another one. So Miles hanging in there against his opponent Schiller.
You know, that's something, you know, again, different teams, you know, different situations. When Steve Avery played for Taylor, some teams were going to draft him as an outfielder.
Yeah.
They never DH'd for him. The guy batted like 400.
Yeah, he loves to hit.
And he was a great hitter.
He's a good hitter in the pros, too. Here's Miles' hit to right field, up in the sun, and the wind playing with it a little bit, but they do get Miles out and pick up the first out of the top of the fourth.
And the runners held. It was
Yeah.
shallow enough that sometimes you get that ball to right field, you can get that guy on second over to third, and Troy elected not to do it.
There's Miles, good cut at that, going the opposite field, and got it just a little bit too much into the wind. And an easy play out there for Tim DiCarlo, the right fielder. There's Schiller now pitching to Terry Mulby. Mulby got the first run batted in for the Colts on his sacrifice back in the second inning. Takes a swing and a miss here.
And I'm chasing that.
Yeah. So it was Mulby's sacrifice. They got the first run in there, chasing that one. And the wind really picking up. There's a ball, 1-1. Terry Mulby, the right fielder, batting now for the Colts.
Funny, you get the feeling with Schiller, though, sometimes when he misses, you wonder, it's kind of intentional. I think he's setting up his next pitch, and if he gets ahead of the batter, to see him, it could be that he's losing it a little because he did throw a few more balls this inning than previous.
Ball down low, count at 2-1.
And now he's got to come over the middle. He's missed out and missed in. Now you got to give him something to hit.
Crowder at second base. And
That's
another foul ball, and
way out of here.
count now at 2-2 to Terry Mulby. Ball foul just done by the third base coach.
And that one almost fooled him a little bit. Changed up on him, got him way ahead of it, but he was, Mulby was able to get the bat on it and pull it foul. Didn't get much, well, not wood on it, but metal on it.
One down, 2 men on. And a ball down low, keeping it in front of him is McGlaughlin, and runners do not advance. Crowder and Kahida, the runners. Mulby, the batter, and Brian Schiller, or Daryl Schiller, excuse me, the pitcher. And another foul ball. So hanging in there on the full count is Mulby.
And Schiller's thrown more than his share of foul balls today. It's 11 of them, I believe.
Here's your score now. 4-1 here in the top of the fourth inning.
Working on a no-hitter.
Oh, you had to say it, didn't you?
Last
like
time I
that
said
happen.
that about Miles had it going well, guy hit home run, didn't he? Oh man, I'm sorry.
Things like that happen, though. You get a no-hitter with one run in high school. Mulby draws a walk.
There's a guy at Orchard Lake St. Mary's that threw like 3 no-hitters in a row this year. He's a junior. But Catholic League Baseball plays a slightly different rule. They only have 3 balls and 2 strikes.
3 balls, 2 strikes.
A little less work for the pitcher.
Yeah. So coming out to the mound, Mark Sackett.
Look at your jacket. Look at his.
And umpire Hennings gets over there, tries to break it up, gets the game going again. There you see the runners. Crowder is at third. Kahida is at second. And Mulby is at first. With 1 out, the Colts are in pretty good position to get some more runs on the board. Try to tie this one up. And the batter is Klauser, Andy Klauser. It's a ball inside.
And Schiller is starting to get tired. This is the first extended inning he's had.
Klauser picked up a strikeout in the second inning, and the second one for Schiller. So Schiller would like to get one here. And he blows one right by him. 1-1 the count now to Klauser, the second baseman for the Colts.
Little shoulders, hands on top.
thing on high school baseball is you got to look at hitters every time turning into the dugout, getting told what to do with all these signals, and the catchers are getting told what pitches to call by the coaches. It's
Schiller throwing some heat now. Got that one right by him. And it's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
So these guys got to love it when they finally get somewhere where they get to, make their own decisions.
Yep. Here's a foul ball, just lined at the first base coach.
Through the puddle.
And right through the puddle. Here's the swing, just a little bit late.
Behind it.
Right at you.
That ball is going to be taken out of play. You have to wonder in a game like this, how many balls are they going to go through? Normal high school game, you go through 2, maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah. You always should get the kids retrieving them for you.
Yeah, if these things get in the water, they're useless.
Here's a ground ball to third. They're going to go home with it. Yeah, they got him at home. So the force out works. Good play by Jeff Tessmer. Heads up play to throw home to McGlawn, and they pick up the force out.
Let's take a look at this. I don't know if we got an angle on it, but I don't
know if he was touching the plate.
Did he? Thank you.
That's what
Did
I
he touch
was
the plate? Watch his foot.
The last call for the 800 meter
I
relay.
don't know.
It's right there.
Yeah. He had a pretty long foot if he was touching.
I know there's the phantom tag at second, but on a run, when it's a run at home plate, I think you gotta be there.
Pitcher better be touching it. They got the they got the call anyway.
It's 2 outs, and
here's a shot. Good play by the shortstop. As Gergen throws to second to get the other force, and that'll do it.
And that's the advantage of having that defense behind you too. Schiller's throwing a lot of strikes, doesn't have a lot of strikeouts, but his fielders are making the plays for him. And see, with just the 1 error, and still no hits yet for the Troy Colts.
There you see it, your line score. There were no runs in that inning.
All right, well, let's take a look at what could have been a run. Slow down here.
Coming up.
And here's your catcher. And now he's got the ball.
Okay,
now he's got it.
Let's get home plate.
He's down here.
And look at how far his foot is from
his
home
foot.
plate.
Now there's a little. Yeah, look at the gap there.
Yeah.
That foot's not on the plate.
Yeah, I saw that.
We're a little distracted by that pole.
Yeah, I saw that from up here, but the ref, the umpire right there calling it.
Yeah, well, we all agreed, and Ken Phillips, our statistician, also agreed. But the Troy coaches didn't really argue that much about it, though, did they?
But we have a better view. We have a bird's eye view. We're right on top of it, and we saw it because that home plate area sometimes gets messed up. The plate gets covered up with some dirt sometimes.
Well, and also it's embedded.
It's sunk in a little bit. So because I think they did throw some new dirt down, so that kind of helped them out. Transition, ACE Award-winning program, comes to you every Wednesday and Friday at 9 p.m. right here on TCI 63. Transition keeps you up to date on local issues in and around the Detroit area, so tune in for that.
You never miss it, do you?
Not the reruns. I don't. I've seen.
Been there, seen it.
Been there, and I do watch it. When I get a chance.
Okay. But you don't need to see it over and over.
I don't
again.
need.
It's not like Beavis and Butthead where you just watch the classic episodes over and over and over and over.
No.
Okay.
Something you don't call the friends over for popcorn or anything like that, or whatever the kids are eating these days. Jeff Tessmer will lead it off here. The third baseman. He walked in the first, hit a home run in the second, has scored twice. A big day for him, and has made some nice plays at third base.
Again, the wind's starting to blow for him. If he can get another one of those to the same spot.
He may get his pitch here. 3 balls, no strikes to him. There's a strike.
I was going to say,
Miles had a chance
You're
to
up.
get some rest, too, in that inning. That
Yep.
was one of the longest innings the Troy Colts had.
see if it helps him. You're up 4-1, and you got the guy who hit a home run. I might have given him the green light on that 3-0.
Yeah.
But, hey, you get him on base now with the walk.
His second
Not a
walk
bad
of
way
the
to go.
day. And it gets him on base to lead off the inning. Pete Toko comes up now for the Red Hawks. Right-handed hitting first baseman. Was hit by a pitch in the first inning and singled in the second.
Now, see if they try, we've seen Athens before trying to run a little bit on these guys. See if they're going to do anything here. I don't
There's
think
a ball.
I don't think 5-1 is any better than 4-1. I think you want to get a rally going, so I wouldn't see them. Can't imagine trying to sacrifice just to move one runner over.
Miles goes to first. And getting back safely is Tessmer. On deck, Tim DiCarlo, the cleanup hitter.
The results of the 55-meter hurdle.
There's a foul ball off to the right side,
Larson
just
with
past the
a
bleachers.
second place Larson.
And there you see DiCarlo on deck.
First place Larson with a winning time of
The cleanup hitter, number 4. Appropriate.
That's how.
In the old days, that's how they got their numbers.
That's why Babe Ruth wore
Ruth
3
had
and
3.
Lou Gehrig wore 4.
Gehrig had 4. I set you up for that one.
Exactly. All right, I got you one of the great trivia questions ever.
All right.
You know there's 3 numbers retired by the Tigers, right?
Yeah.
You know they are, right?
Kaline, Gehringer,
Greenberg.
and Greenberg.
Why isn't Ty Cobb's number retired?
They didn't wear numbers back then.
Okay.
So they just took a blank jersey.
They should hang a blank jersey up out there then
They should.
and say no one's ever going to wear a blank jersey again. And I'm a Ty Cobb.
Yeah. We will not have any of that going on. As Miles throws back to first to keep Tessmer honest down over there. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count to Pete Toko, the first baseman. There's a ball down low and evens the count at 2-2.
See, back in the early 1900s, they weren't into all that marketing and selling of jerseys.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Runner going. Toko swing and fouling it off. Trying to protect the runner on the hit and run. I think had he not swung, Tessmer would have had that.
Oh, yeah, he was.
He was gone
was
pretty
gone.
good for that stolen
Well,
base.
the one stolen base they've had, it sure seemed like they read Miles pretty well.
Yeah. Big lead right now. And they go over there.
Ooh, that's a good move.
You could see Tessmer just inching out even more.
That's a nice move, though, for a right-handed pitcher.
Yeah.
Take a look at this. Never sets up. I don't know what the buck rules are, so I don't know what you have to do. I've never understood that either.
There's a ball now to the batter, and that'll make it a full count now to Pete Toko. Nobody down, Tessmer at first for Toko. They throw over there again. Miles does, and not a chance in getting Tessmer.
And I don't think he was trying to get him that time. I think the time before it was trying to get him out. This time it's just keep him inching back closer to the first base.
Here's a fly ball, soft fly ball to right field, and he couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Having trouble with it out there was Mulby, and sun right in his eyes. That's the line where you say, hey, coach, the sun was in my eyes, and that time it was. So just got it, hit it to the right spot.
Well, the sun's right behind us.
Give that an error.
And
Our official scorekeeper up here,
Ken Phillips, is that a hit or an error?
definitely an E.
Okay. Well, if you turn around from where we are and look at that sun, it's bright.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like there's
I
not
wouldn't advise that at
a
home.
lot
though.
of clouds.
I wouldn't advise that if you're at home. Don't look at the sun. Only Joe, he's a trained professional, he can do it. Here's a bunt foul. And that would have had that, boy, if he just laid down a good bunt, that would have been a perfect time for it on the first pitch.
Still no outs, and once again, Miles digging himself a hole, getting the pitch count up, but there's nobody warming up.
Sometimes you get stuck in those positions as a head coach. You got to go with them. DiCarlo, the batter. 2 men on, nobody out. And here's a good bunt. A bunt a little bit too hard. Miles throwing from the seat of his pants and couldn't get him. Miles slipped out there and just had to hurry up and throw it. Got it off, but not enough on it to really get the batter.
It's the wet field coming into play there.
Yep.
Again, you have all the negative conditions you could have basically out here, except, well, rain. But
So
here you'll see.
scorekeeper gives it a hit, right? A hit on
Well,
that
it's
one.
not an error.
Yeah.
What's the error there?
Yeah.
He fell down. It's really not a.
So DiCarlo gets the base hit. Bases are now loaded. You're right. What can you give him an E for? He gave it a.
He didn't drop
Yeah,
the ball.
no, he threw it to first.
The throw
It's too
was
late.
there.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just the conditions.
Yep.
Of course, we could also then argue the conditions of the sun. Kenny a hard time,
Paul Deagle coming out now, and he's going to talk it over with Miles, Essien, and the catcher Simony. Bases loaded for the Colts, and this could pretty much tell the whole story of this game right here and what happens. Nobody out. Redhawks lead at 4-1, and they are in a position to put this one away with the base runners coming up for you. Tesmer is at third base. Pete Tocco is at second. And Tim DiCarlo is at first. And you've got the number 5 hitter, Chet Miller, coming up against Miles. Miller hit a single back in the second inning. He had an infield fly in the first inning. But that big single knocked in the first run of the game.
And
Or excuse me, the second run in that second inning. So it's a good hit at the time to keep the rally going.
well, all the infielders are in on the grass. Obviously being told to go home if you can. I would think first and third definitely are going home with it. And short and second.
Miller is going to swing away. He's a good hitter. And takes that first one for a ball.
Yeah, I don't know if you could hear it in the background. One coach saying, "No, he's got to throw you stripes. If Miles can't get it over the plate, let him walk in the run and let him get that."
There it
pitch
is.
up higher. Oh,
Good
no.
hit. Way back. And this is gone. A grand slam home run for Chet Miller. Well, I don't know why they're playing in. He had some. He had a good hit his last time up, and this time was even better. He just hit a rocket.
That's 2 home runs, both to the exact same spot. And yeah, it's 8-1, and there's still nobody warming up, and there's still no outs.
First call, 100-meter dash.
Yeah. Well,
And once again, Elvis left the building.
we said it, Joe, that this would spell really the whole game right here. And Chet Miller just tees off on
I see
this
the
one.
girls soccer team back
Yeah.
there running.
And he almost hit him.
It's like Rance is there behind the grassy knoll.
Yep. Not much you can do back there. New ball coming in. And the score 8-1. We're in the bottom of the 4th. And nobody out for the Red Hawks. Brian Shaver comes up to bat. Yeah, just a big inning for the Red Hawks. They are really getting to Aaron Miles.
Well, I mean, there's nothing you can do with that either. You're a power pitcher, so when they hit it, it's going to go. And it's not that your fielders aren't messing up on that. It's a home run. Nothing, you really can't help yourself there. But now the bases are clear. It's like a new inning. Get it over there and make them hit ground balls.
I just let him hit it, only because I couldn't pitch. But if I was a pitcher out there struggling, just let him hit it to your defense.
Go, Sixer.
There we go, and we pick up the first out. So a good sign for Aaron Miles coming back after the grand slam to get that next batter. That's a big insurmountable.
And this could come into effect, as we're in the 4th inning now. But if Athens were to score a couple more runs, get a 10-run lead, I'm assuming that the OAA does the same rule everybody else uses. 10-run lead after the 5th inning, game's over. So, I'm sure that's in the back of both teams' minds.
Miles now hitting the backstop on that one, having some trouble up there, just frustration.
I'm sure Daryl Schiller would take a short and no-hitter.
Yeah, he would.
No hitter.
Brandon Cecil wants to hit, though, and he
You and I
takes
had,
another ball, 2-0.
we had a lot of no hitters in our day, didn't we? 0 for 5, 0 for 4.
Yeah.
Up and in, sir.
I'd be happy with a walk.
It's like,
In my day.
It's like the old story. You know, remember
You are out of here.
somebody just got booted.
He's gone.
Manager got booted.
Coach is gone.
55 seconds.
Paul Deagle is gone.
Is
that
it
number
Deagle?
17?
17, the jacket. That's Jason Novetsky.
No, that's not Deagle, yeah. Number 10 is Deagle.
Yeah, and he just got he got tossed.
Yeah, he said a little too much to the umpire.
Well, you know, I heard the umpire between innings saying, you know, looking over the bench saying, "Hey, calm down" or something. No, don't worry about it. To
Yeah.
them. And there's really what do you
There's
gonna
always
say?
so
You're-
much you
you're
can
down
do.
8-1.
Yeah.
And, you know, guy hit a grand slam.
Yeah.
Really nothing you can complain about. And it gets a little frustrating
Yeah.
though.
Don Wayne, the umpire, just had enough of the talk down on the field and says, "Hey,
Results of the 800
I want to enjoy the game here." So they call and
684 fan unit.
umpires don't like to do it, but when they do call a guy out, they give a little emphasis in
Oh,
there.
absolutely.
They punch it up a little bit.
Absolutely.
Win time of 144.23 Van Usen boys.
And there you see player leave. Got to leave the field area.
No, I was telling you before. You remember Jay Schrader, the old quarterback?
Yeah.
Raiders? You know, he's a minor league baseball player, and they made this big thing about how he led one league in strikeouts one year, but he was outfielder.
Oh,
So it wasn't a good thing.
no, not a good thing to do. There's a foul ball down the left field line, and it'll be a full count
I guess that's why he played football.
on Brandon Cecil.
And again, you know, you've
So he
got,
made a right choice going.
yeah. It's a guy who never started a game in his college football career and ended up being an NFL player for 10 years.
Incredible.
It's weird. Well, you still only have one out and a full count, and that pitch total is 108 right now.
He's at 100 pitches. We're only in the bottom of the fourth.
Man,
And there's a swing and a miss, but he picks up a big strikeout. So got 2 outs after the home run.
well, all right, you know, 108 pitches and 4 innings. On the bright side, if any Tiger Scouts are here, he could be playing for them next week.
You know,
Hey, I was at that
Tigers are
35-run
having-
game last
Tigers
week.
are having a lot of problems right
Oh,
now.
man.
There's a strike to
You know,
Tim Gergen.
you know, the only time you can enjoy the Tigers is on that Classic Sports Network when they show the Mark Fidrich game.
Yeah,
That's
we
fun.
both saw that.
That's classic.
The Classic Sports Network on Channel 86.
We need that
on
24 hours
TCI.
a day.
Watch that. There's some good stuff on there.
That's like my new favorite channel.
They
Whoever
play some
runs
classic games.
Whoever runs it must
they
be
played
from
some
Boston. We'll have a
Piston
Larry
classic
Bird.
games.
Yep. When
There's a
Vinnie
ball
Johnson hit the
outside.
shot to win the championship.
Yep.
Showed Michael Jordan's 63-point game.
Yeah. Showed the triple overtime game with Phoenix and the Celtics, one of the classic NBA games.
I didn't
of all
see this,
time.
but somebody else told me they did the ABA All-Star Game and Slam Dunk Contest from '76 when Dr. J went foul line.
Yeah.
First game.
All that on Channel 86 right here on TCI, the Classic Sports Channel.
10 years from now, they'll probably have this game.
And this could be. You never know. You never know what could happen. We're only in the 4th inning. Tim Gergen, the batter, with a 3-1 count on him, and he takes the walk.
There's still nobody warming up.
So after getting down 2 after the grand slam, Miles gives up the walk to Gergen, and that'll bring up the number 9 batter, Chad Miller. He flew out to center field in the 2nd inning and grounded out to the 3rd baseman in the 3rd.
Well, manager's coming out. I think they're making a change right now. They are. It's going to be Kahida. Apparently, the warming up that he did a couple innings ago is good enough. And, we do have an official pitching change.
So Deagle talking now, and we'll take a break now as Kahida comes in to throw here in the bottom of the 4th with 2 down. And we'll be right back right after these messages. Stay with us.
If you wish a video cassette of TCI Sports, the cost is $25. Send a check payable to TCI, along with your name, address, and the names of the teams that played in the game, to TCI Sports Videotapes, 4500 Delamere Boulevard, Royal Oak, Michigan, 48073. Remember to tell us which game you wish to receive. And thank you for watching TCI Sports.
What TCI is looking to do is we're looking to be a full-service provider, a one-stop shopping place, if you will. We're looking to provide all the services that anyone wants to consume in the area of communications, whether that's cable television, whether that's telephone, whether that's data, online services. Our goal is to be able to provide all those through one avenue, and that avenue being TCI.
It's the way you inspire. It's the way you grow. It's the way you lead. It's the way you play. It's the way you work. It's the way you discover. TCI. It's the way you learn. It's the way you learn.
And welcome back to Troy Athens High School as Kyle Rance pops it up to the first baseman, Pete Toko. That is out number 2 here in the top of the 5th. While you were gone, we had a ground out by Chad Miller to end the bottom of the 4th as Kahida came in to get the one batter that he faced. And David Crow then flew out to right field. And Kyle Rance now popped out to the first baseman.
And Kahida technically came in for the right fielder because Miles moved out to right field.
Miles is now in right field, and Mulby is out of the game. This is Essien hitting a line shot and a great catch. A great catch out there by Tim DiCarlo, the right fielder, to end the inning.
Well, that's the kind of thing that keeps no-hitters alive. And Tim Essien, there's a guy who, he's a switch hitter, would love to be batting lefty with this wind today, but he's facing a left-handed pitcher, so he's got to bat right. He goes opposite field with it. And
look at this diving catch.
How's that? Your guy says it flat out.
Yeah, nice grab by DiCarlo. Tim DiCarlo coming up with a great play to end the inning in the top of the 5th. So no runs, no hits. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th here.
Well,
and they're
and
very
again,
disappointed Essien.
Now that mercy rule comes into effect because it's the bottom of the 5th. If I'm assuming they're playing with that rule in this league. If Athens scores 3 runs, game's over.
It's the top of the order here in the bottom of the 5th. Paul McGlaughlin, Jeff Tessmer, and Pete Toko to lead it off here for the Red Hawks. Pitching-wise for Aaron Miles, unofficially 3 2/3 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts, 6 walks on 7 hits, and 7 earned runs for Aaron Miles, not to mention all the pitches that he threw, too.
Yeah, well over 100, and, you know, most likely going to take the loss here unless they can come up with a huge inning. And if, like I say, if Athens can come up with 3 runs here, they're not going to get to bat again anyway.
So Kahida will face the top of the order now. He faced the number 9 batter previously, and now has his work cut out with him. For him for taking on the top of the lineup here.
See, behind us,
a lot of activity going on here as the women's track is going on behind us.
That gets both. I think the boys are out there too.
The boys are out there too?
Yeah, it's just a big old track meet. Yeah, the guys are out there.
That sure
running.
is, yep. So the
boys and girls track both.
Girls out there warming up earlier. And Kahida throws a strike here to the leadoff hitter, Paul McGlaughlin.
It's like you're at the Olympics, only it's cold.
It sure doesn't feel like Atlanta.
No.
Maybe Atlanta in December.
Yeah. No.
if that.
No.
All right, I'm just trying. I'm reaching. Here's another strike.
Maybe Atlanta.
1 ball, 2 strikes to count.
Maybe it feels like a meat locker in Atlanta.
There's a foul ball, keeping the count at 1 ball, 2 strikes. McGlaughlin led off. He is 1 for 3. Led off with a double in the first inning and grounded out twice to the shortstop. Actually, One time hitting right back to the pitcher, and then Miles had diverted it over to the shortstop. Here's a pitch down low and outside. No swing there.
Okay. checked it first. And, I tell you, Kahida
very animated show of the call down there by Mr. Henning, the outfield umpire. Here's a shot to left center.
Rance
and on the
it.
run is Rance, and the wind kept that one up and curved it right to him, I think.
Yeah, it held it up. Because I don't think he should have been able to get to it.
Yeah.
In fact, I thought if anything, he might have to dive, and that ended up being almost routine.
Let's take a look. The wind blowing towards center field had this one up in the air, held it up. There you see the left fielder, and now Rance will come into the picture, and it blew it all the way over there.
There's your left-handed hitter now.
Here's Tessmer. A
already.
home run and 2 walks, has scored 3 times. Hit a solo homer. His
Kahida,
on-base percentage is just terrific today.
interesting setup Kahida has when he's pitching, and he's straight overhand delivery.
Throwing some smoke in there, though.
Yeah. Got him on
Throwing some smoke. Boy, where was Kahida earlier?
Man. Well, he's probably
Take a
their
look.
closer.
Right there. Inside
corner.
and got him.
Right at the belt.
2 down now. And Pete Toko, the batter. Pete, 1 for 2. Singled back in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, first pitch high and outside.
And there you see he was hit by a pitch. And on base.
Hey, when
That
Kahida,
error.
his strikes are low strikes, too.
Yeah. And then Toko's on base with that grand slam that Chet Miller hit back in the 4th inning, just an inning ago. Another strike. So Kahida just in there throwing strikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count to Toko.
Like Chet Miller, he and his brother Chad. Chad's also on the team. Remember them from basketball season.
Swing and a miss. And Kahida gets in there and mows him down. 2 strikeouts. 1, 2, 3.
Is that their first one of the
First 1, 2, 3 they've had.
And they avoid any mercy situation. They can maybe get themselves back into it as we come into the 6th inning.
Yep. So a good inning there for the Red Hawks as Kahida comes in and does the job. He has retired every batter he's faced so far. As we go into the top of the 6th, it'll be Crowder, Sivany, and Miles for the Colts.
And Schiller basically just playing catch out there, warming up. He's, I wonder if he's thinking about that no-hitter. That'd be kind of cool if the first baseball game we ever did was a no-hitter.
That would be.
Yeah.
Would your buddies Beavis and Butthead watch this then? If it was a no-hitter? Would they know what a no-hitter is?
No.
Would they know what baseball
They like
is?
to hit things.
How are your Foo Fighters doing, by the way?
Oh,
Are they on the charts?
not lately. I mean,
Okay.
they haven't released anything new.
All right. Have you had Pat Collar, our director, get him on his
He
show
doesn't
yet?
want them.
No?
He says
Okay.
no. I got to work on something else for him to put on. I know Pat's excited about the big Kiss reunion tour that'll come to Tiger Stadium.
That'll be great.
I know Pat will be there with makeup on. Bubba will be there.
I say they go as the Mona Lisa and the King Arthur, whatever that was, Henry VIII, like from the Renaissance Festival.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
A little JV action.
Here on the far side over
Or
the center
freshman.
field fence.
One of the two.
Yeah, we've got some more baseball action going on as our minor league teams playing over there. Schiller pitching to Crowder down low.
Okay, our minor league
Our
team.
minor league teams, you could call them.
Okay.
Freshmen, juniors over there. JV squad.
Sure.
Schiller throwing a strike there, 1-1 to Chris Crowder. Crowder on base twice in his 2 at-bats, both on errors by the shortstop. This is a ground ball to third and a nice play by Jeff Tessmer. as he throws out Crowder. 1 up and 1 down for
Tell you
Daryl
what,
Schiller.
if Schiller gets the no-hitter, and it is a true team no-hitter. They've had, we had the one diving catch out in right field by DiCarlo, but
Yeah.
you know, he's had great defense from every one of his fielders.
Yeah, nice play there by Tesmer.
Tesmer's made several great.
Yeah.
Nothing spectacular, but
And a
solid
nice play on the
plays.
first baseman to pick that one up, too. Now batting Greg Simony.
A little behind on that.
He takes a strike.
Looked like he didn't want to swing at that, but he was a little hesitant.
Simony. He's really far up on that batter's box, trying to maybe head off any curveballs that are thrown at him. Strike 2, the count to him. So Schiller just sitting back and enjoying his big 7-run lead right now here in the 6th. And a ground ball just past him to second base. He's going to have to hurry. And got him. It's a slow-bounding ball once it hit that first bounce.
Yeah, well, again, that's that soft field. It is very wet out there, and you know how much rain we've had the last few days. All you have to do is look at the outfield, see how much water
Once
there
it took
is.
that first, it hit the mound is where it did, right then. It took that slope up, and it took a long time for that ball to come down.
And the dirt out there, we walked on it. That's soft out there. They did a great job of getting this field playable, but it is soft out there.
So Chet Miller did a nice job of getting it over to Pete Toko, and now Miles, the batter. Aaron Miles, still in there. He went to right field when Kahida came in.
And I guess he could play spoiler anyway, mess up the no-hitter.
Miles again 0 for 1 with a sacrifice. Here's a chopper, foul, and 2 strikes to him. Dave Zorn along with Joe Abramson here at Troy Athens High School. And our first of a series of baseball games we'll give you this season. High school games. Swing and a miss by Miles, and now another 1-2-3 inning. This time for the Red Hawks. And that's 1-2-3 innings in a row for Schiller as he has mowed him down. The last...
It's getting stronger as the game goes on.
He has put down the last 7 batters in a row. Here we go to the bottom of the 6th. It'll be the heart of the lineup for the Red Hawks coming up. Tim DiCarlo, Chet Miller, Brian Shaver to face Ken Kahida.
Checks out in the last 2 innings. 14 pitches, 2 balls. That's it for Schiller.
Very impressive, and he's 2-5 coming into this game. So he
pitching a lot. 2-5 is 7.
Yeah, must have faced some tough teams.
You know, it's springtime.
It's springtime, you know, and that means, what does that mean, Joe?
Somebody's going fishing while we're on the golf course.
They're going fishing, all right. And the master anglers are there to keep you up to date on what kind of fish you can catch out there. And there's Mark Gomez himself, the guy who puts that show together. He's got that same fish. He's had that fish up there for a long
You know what I
time.
heard? When you go to McDonald's, you know, and you order
Thursday night at 8, folks. Hey, there he is.
That's the master angler.
There
That
he
guy
is.
right there.
Yep.
When you go to McDonald's and order filet of fish, he probably caught the fish. I think he catches fish
think
from
so?
McDonald's. Yeah.
Just a little side job that he's
Yeah.
got. He's up there dancing. It's a beautiful day, folks. And
getting down with his bad self.
I'd tell you, he's another guy, a brave soul that's up there. There's not much support up there. That wind starts blowing.
No, we at least have a rail here, so when we do go flying, we stay
Just
up
have
here.
something to grab onto.
Yeah.
But
and there's
the real brave one.
That's insanity.
Dennis Westerland, our cameraman, in the bucket truck.
High above Troy Athens.
Right behind home plate, and he's the one giving us our bird's eye view of home plate and the outfield, and a brave soul up there battling the elements. You can see from the center field
He's
camera.
probably warm. He probably likes it up there.
He sure does. Kahida continues his streak, and he starts it off with a strike.
And once again, Athens, if they could score 3 runs here, could end the game.
Kahida has struck out the last 2 batters he's faced and continues the streak as he has an 0-2 count. Like I said, I don't know
He
why.
works quick,
The
too.
coach had to have a good reason for not getting him in here earlier.
Well,
because,
the game was kind of out of reach at one point. I think. You know,
Yeah,
it's,
but-
it's a combination.
he has struck out the last 3 batters in a row.
Yeah, but they can't score runs. So it doesn't matter once you're down 4-1, and then I think the 8-1 made it.
Yeah, might as well keep him in.
Well, get Miles out of there before
Yeah.
his confidence is destroyed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm wondering maybe Kahida's maybe he's only a relief pitcher, or I mean there are inning limits throughout the week, each week in high school.
Yeah,
You know, maybe they're saving
and
him for another game.
why I
don't know
say
if
the
they
coach
play.
probably had a good reason for not
getting
him in earlier.
You know, one of the great stories of inning limitations in high school is with Steve Avery, bringing him up again. In the semifinals,
Chet
Chet Miller's Mr. Grand Slam here. Steve Avery, in the semifinals his senior year, his team. Well, here's
Look
number
at
2.
this. Chad Miller
That's
wants a
gone.
second home run, and he got it. Off the scoreboard. Off the scoreboard. And his
my.
teammates are fired up after hitting the scoreboard.
You win something for that?
Chet Miller has knocked in 6 runs today with 2 home runs and a single, and a 3-for-4 day.
Man. You know, all of a sudden we have an official hit up here for Troy.
Where'd that come from? Maybe we found out. Maybe Ken Phillips found out something we did.
Well, I
There's
guess,
the hit.
I guess that means that Chet Miller is
He got all of
player
that
of
one.
the game.
Chad
Oh,
Miller.
he's got to be happy with that.
Let's see if we can see where it hits.
And this is where
Watch
he
where it
says,
hits. Yeah, it's gone.
I am
No
king of the
need to.
jungle.
Yeah. And you
I am
saw
amazed by the simplicity of this game.
Chris Seeley.
Steve Avery, they went to extra innings in the semis. He had to pitch all the way through, used up all his innings to get them into the
During high
state
school,
final
yeah.
at Taylor Kennedy.
Yep.
So then they lose. He can't pitch the state title game, so they lose to Birmingham Seaholm. So now those Seaholm guys are going around, yeah, we beat Steve Avery for the state championship. You know. Yeah, he was in center field. You know.
Yeah, one way working around
He was
it, I
on.
guess.
He was out there, yeah.
Well, Kahida working, struck out 3 batters in a row, and then Chet Miller steps up and hits another home run. And that now has got Kahida throwing 2 balls here and getting behind the batter. And finally manages to get one to Brian Shaver. 2-1. Shaver takes a ball outside, and it's a 3-1 count now. It's amazing what home runs will do to you. It'll kind of kill your confidence. As Kahida was throwing strikes, and now gets some confidence back to get it a full count.
Checking into that hit thing, Ken Phillips just told me there's still no hits.
Okay.
So
still a no-hitter going for Daryl Schiller.
I was going to say, it's pretty hard to lose a no-hitter while you're batting.
Yeah. Yeah. And another strikeout.
Also, Kahida either strikes you out or you send it out. You know, it's all or nothing with him.
So Ken Kahida, let's take a look at that last pitch, and he just got him on the outside. Nice pitch. Out of 6 batters, he struck out 7 batters. He struck out 4 of them. So not a bad day for Ken Kahida, except for that home
The
run.
no-hitter is back.
Yeah. There's your score: 9 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors, and 1 run, no hit, and 1 error for the Troy Colts. Brandon Cecil, the batter. Cecil gets a ground ball to short, throw to first, and they got him, and that'll end the inning. So the Athens Redhawks pick up another run on another home run by Chet Miller. 1 run on 1 hit, and here's the ground ball to the shortstop David Crow.
Another routine play, and game's going to be over now unless Troy can come up with 9 runs of their own, or 8 runs of their own, at least to tie it.
Yep. And
Big
Schiller has been tough.
Big thing here is the no-hitter, and I wonder, you know, in the major leagues, how the guy sits on the bench and no one talks to him. I wonder how things have been on the bench for Schiller.
Here we are up here on top of the press box, and a bird's eye view of the field here.
It's cold.
It is a little colder than we thought for opening day.
Cold, and it's bright, and it's sunny. Look, they even have the sign going that way, too. You know, for football, probably reverses, I would hope.
That's nice to have the Athens Redhawks sign right in front of us. And you're enjoying the Creedence Clearwater Revival too. Daryl Schiller going into the 7th inning will face Ken Kahida, Andy Klauser, and I'll tell you what, and Chris Seeley, but he has retired the last 7 batters he's faced, so it seems like he's getting very tough. Lots of sports out here, soccer now, as you see.
Yeah, they're getting ready
soccer
too.
Players way out in the right center field area as we come back over to the fence and into center field. Right field.
Any shots to the tennis courts? It's about the only thing we're missing.
It's too cold for tennis, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It's too cold for baseball.
And here you see Andy Klauser getting ready. And at the plate will be Kohida, Ken Kohida, batting for the first time. He is in batting in the Terry Mulby position.
He's been on base a lot.
Yeah, he is pinch.
He had been the courtesy runner.
Courtesy runner.
And it's a strange thing. You go from courtesy runner to relief pitcher. Now you get to bat.
And look at this.
Oh, man.
Kohida has
And
had
he's the one who breaks up the no-hitter.
And he breaks up the no-hitter.
Oh, man.
So Schiller had a no-hitter going here in the top of the first, or top of the 7th, and the first batter he faces. Ken Kohida comes in on his first at-bat and picks up a single.
And why wasn't he batting before, too, huh?
You kind of wonder. Kohida, like you said, only used as a courtesy runner until he came into pitch.
Which means he must be fast.
Yeah.
I don't think he's stealing when you're down 9-1.
Well, he throws fast. He was striking out batters left and right here.
Just a sophomore.
So now Klauser. There's a strike. 1-1 now to Klauser. We're in the top of the 7th, and Daryl Schiller, can close it out here. Schiller going home with it, and a foul makes it 1 ball and 2 strikes to Klauser. There you see Kohida at first base. He broke up the no-hitter by that man right there, Daryl Schiller. Schiller going home with it again, and the ball down low. Kohida not taking too big of a lead over there, especially with the first base off the base.
I'll tell you,
He's kind of hanging with him.
I gotta think at some point Mark Sack, the head coach, tells Schiller, we're up by 8. If he wants to steal, let him steal. Just get 3 hitters out.
There's a strike.
There's one out.
Yep. So Klauser strikes out for the 2nd time today. And that'll bring up the top of the order, Chris Seeley. Take a look at that strikeout pitch for Schiller.
Fastball inside at the belt.
Yep. Klauser fooled on that one. Chris Seeley. Strike to Seeley, and he was fooled on that one. He was backing off. Seeley 0 for 3. On base with an error back in the 1st inning. Seeley hits one right back to the mound. Could be a double play. To 2nd, and they just almost had him at first base. Couldn't come up with it.
Threw it to his backhand side and low, and 2 down. Man on first.
And that'll bring up David Crow, the shortstop. So Kohida will go into the dugout, and there you see the shortstop.
Crow, one of only 4 seniors on the team.
Crow with a sacrifice in the 1st inning. Lined out to the 2nd baseman in the 3rd and flew out to right field in the 5th. There's another strike. Schiller wants to close this one out. 1-1 the count. We're in the top of the 7th with The Red Hawks up 9-1 over the Troy Colts. Colts picking up their first hit here with the first batter in the top of the 7th. And another strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Crow.
1-2.
Schiller going outside with that one. And evens the count at 2-2.
I see leaning against, not our truck, but our TCI van is the coach who was ejected earlier in the game.
Aha. So there's a spy over there.
Yeah.
Using our truck as a shield. Here's a base hit. So 2 hits now here in the top of the 7th. And the right fielder, Tim DiCarlo, gets it in quickly. So Crow picks up his first hit. And we've got runners at first and second with 2 outs. And it'll bring up Kyle Rance.
Kyle Rance batting near 500 this year. Next time we see him, he'll be lining up for the Spartan football team.
He needs a hit here. There you see the runner at first. Nobody on him. And Rance hits a rocket down the line, foul. And a little bit in front of that one.
Make that kind of contact, he's lined up for the Spartan baseball team, too.
Rance struck out in the first, reached base with an error in the 3rd, and popped out in the 5th. Wind picking up again, as it has so often today. Rance, good cut at that one, a high hard one, and he couldn't get a hold of that one.
Think about that, he threw high to Rance.
Yeah.
6'6".
Yeah. No balls, 2 strikes to Kyle Rance. Rance looks at the ball down low outside. Very close though.
1-2.
There you see the count. Outs and runners on first and second. They just like to pick up a moral victory here, maybe get some more runs off Schiller. High, hard one outside.
Way outside.
Yeah. Well, with 2 strikes on him, you can afford to kind of pitch around Rance right now, but if it gets to 3-2, it's going to be power against power. There's Schiller. Little nubbler taken by the second baseman, quickly over to first, and that'll do it. As Chet Miller gets it over to Pete Soko, and the ground out, 4-3 ends it. And the Red Hawks pick up a big victory here against their crosstown rivals.
The city rivalry, you always want to win that no matter how your season's going.
The Troy Colts, and that'll do it. Let's take a look. Schiller tough, right down to the last batter.
Here, over off the end of the bat, and Rance, remember, the guy runs really well for someone his size, makes it a close play. But that's the kind of defense that Schiller had behind him all game long, and it continued, and 9-1 victory for him. Took a no-hitter into the final inning.
9-1 victory. Daryl Schiller with a great performance on the mound. Chet Miller, a great performance at the plate for the Red Hawks and a great effort. 9-1 final score. We'll be back to wrap things up right after these messages. Stay with us.
Oakland Press Perspective with Neil Monroe is an informative talk show that discusses issues often overlooked by broadcast stations. Neil Monroe, the editor of the Oakland Press newspaper, will keep you abreast on hot topics, events, and issues taking place in Oakland County. So for news you can use, join Neil Monroe every week on the Oakland Press Perspective, Friday night at 8:30 on TCI 63. If you wish a video cassette of TCI Sports, the cost is $25. Send a check payable to TCI, along with your name, address, and the names of the teams that played in the game, to TCI Sports Videotapes, 4500 Delamere Boulevard, Royal Oak, Michigan, 48073. Remember to tell us which game you wish to receive. And thank you for watching TCI Sports.
And welcome back to Troy Athens High School. There you see the line score of the game. Troy Athens came out on top in that first inning, 2 runs, and then came back in the second inning with 2 to answer to Troy's 1 in the second. And then that big 4th inning, which was the grand slam by Chet Miller, and that really put it away for Athens. And then Chet Miller again added 1 in the 6th just for the heck of it, and it went off the scoreboard to make it 9-1 at that point, and that's how it stood.
Yeah, and there was 3 home runs total on the game for Athens. Tessmer also had one earlier. Here's the grand slam.
Chet Miller hitting the grand slam here. He was 3 for 4 on the day with 6 RBIs total. This one right off the bat, you could tell it was just gone.
Oh, yeah, and his second one was just as impressive off the scoreboard. And you see a very happy Athens Red Hawk team. And, you know, through all that, forget Schiller took a no-hitter into the final inning, ended up giving up just 2 hits, no earned runs.
No earned runs.
Complete game victory.
Yep, he struck out 4, walked 2, and did a fine job. Kahida, who came in with 2 and 1/3 inning for the Colts, had 4 strikeouts, no walks, 1 hit, which was the Chet Miller solo homer, and 1 earned run because of that. And there you see, as we close out the final score, 9-1, Athens coasting after that big grand slam by Chet Miller. Next week, don't forget to tune in. It'll be the Berkeley Bears against the Ferndale Eagles. 2 rivals right there, neighboring cities, going at it Saturday and Monday at 8 p.m. right here on TCI 63. And there you have the final again, the kickoff of our 1996 baseball season. Don't forget to join us again when the Bears take on the Eagles. For Joe Abramson and all of our hardworking TCI staff, thanks for tuning in. I'm Dave Zorin. We'll see you next week.